United Cup 2026 draw. Gauff led USA to face Spain. Argentina in mixed team tournament. Top seeds and two-time champion USA, spearheaded by Coco Gauff and Taylor Fritz, was drawn on Monday alongside Spain and Argentina for its defense of the mixed teams United Cup in Australia. Gauff and Fritz, ranked 3 and 6 in the world respectively, begin their 2026 season in Perth at the 4th edition of the tournament from January 2nd to 11th ahead of the Australian Open at Melbourne Park later in the month. Spain is led by Joan Munar and Jessica Bouzes Monero. World number 1 Carlos Alcaraz has opted instead to play an exhibition match in South Korea against Jannik Sinner in preparation for the season-opening Grand Slam. 4-time major winner Naomi Osaka will also start her campaign in Perth, lining up for Japan with 2019 Junior Wimbledon champion Shintaro Mochizuki. Japan was drawn in a tough group alongside Britain, headlined by Jack Draper and Emma Raducanu, and a Greek team featuring Stefanos Tsitsipas and Maria Sakkari. Italy, France, and Switzerland round out the Perth groupings. World number 2 IJ Swiatek and Hubert Hurkacz lead Poland's quest for revenge after being beaten by Team USA in the final in 2025 and Germany a year earlier. Poland starts in Sydney, pitted against Alexander Zverev's Germany and the Netherlands. Alex de Minaur and Australia are in Group D with Casper Ruud Norway and a Czech Republic team boasting the fast-rising Jakub Mensik. Canada, Belgium, and China round out the Sydney action. Each team, with 3 men and 3 women, will play in a round-robin group stage. Ties comprise 1 men's and 1 women's singles and mixed doubles. Group winners in each city advance to the quarterfinals, along with the best runner-up. The semifinals and final are in Sydney, with $11 million in prize money and ADP and WDA ranking points at stake. The day the 2026 United Cup draw was announced felt less like a standard press release and more like the opening act of a tennis epic. The world woke to 100 headlines echoing the same central drama. Coco Gauff and the United States had drawn Spain and Argentina. 3 flags, 3 styles of tennis, 3 cultures colliding in the same group stage. It felt like destiny, maybe even poetry, that the tournament which celebrates mixed team unity would begin with matchups rooted in contrasting philosophies of the sport. One morning buzz. In downtown Sydney, where the tournament would open in early January, the sunlight scattered across the harbor like a challenge coin tossed by the sky itself. Journalists gathered outside the venue, still half asleep but fully ready for spectacle. They scrolled phones, compared predictions, whispered about the group of intrigue, the group of pressure, the group of opportunity. Inside the main hall, the massive LED screen blinked awake. Flags shimmered across it, stars and stripes, red and yellow bands, Argentina's celestial sky blue. Then came the name that pulled the murmurs into a focused hum. Gauff. She wasn't even in the building, yet Coco Gauff's presence filled the air like static before a storm. At 22, she was already the United States anchor in both tennis performance and team identity. A U.S. captain had described her earlier in the week as our compass, which struck many as accurate. She pointed the way. She corrected the direction. She held the team steady. When the final draw slide appeared, the hall erupted. Group C. United States, United States. Spain, Spain. Argentina, Argentina. Somewhere in the back, a Spanish reporter muttered something about déjà vu. On the other side, an Argentine journalist whispered, impressed, "Esto es un grupo bravo." A tough group. Indeed. 2. The American camp. Later that afternoon, the U.S. team gathered around a conference table decorated with water bottles, protein bars, and the occasional nervous knee bounce. Gauff sat in the middle, hoodie sleeves covering her hands, her focus as sharp as the strings on her signature racket. Spain and Argentina, said Taylor Fritz, leaning back as if testing the draw's weight. Not exactly the easy route. There's no easy route, Gauff replied, softly but firmly. That's why the cup means something. Behind those simple words, she was already processing the matchups. Spain's strategic brilliance, Argentina's raw intensity, and the unpredictable alchemy of mixed doubles, where teamwork could rewrite destiny in a single tiebreak. Madison Keys grinned. You're actually excited, aren't you? Gauff shrugged, but her eyes flashed with the kind of competitive joy only a true match lover understands. Spain will bring their angles and rhythm. Argentina will bring fire. We'll bring our own thing. That's the whole point. Somewhere in the bustle of strategy sheets and early training schedules, the United States began to look less like a group of star players and more like a single, unified organism. The mixed team format required it. No individual brilliance survived without team cohesion. 3. Across the Atlantic, the Spanish perspective. In Madrid, the Spanish team met inside a training complex that smelled of clay and ambition. Even though the United Cup was played on hard courts, the soul of Spanish tennis, endurance, construction, the long game, always seemed to float in particles of red dust. The captain, Elena Martinez, clicked on the screen showing the draw. United States and Argentina, she said. Thoughts? A young Spanish star, all cheekbone angles and quiet intensity, spoke first. Gauff is the axis, but the U.S. doubles combinations are dangerous. See, another added, and the crowd support in Sydney will tilt everything. But Spain, Martinez said, does not fear crowds. We silence them. We win them over. Or both. The room chuckled, but the underlying truth hummed. Spain had the discipline to outlast anyone. What they lacked in raw power, they compensated for in precision and patterns. In the art of constructing points like cathedrals. To face the United States was not daunting. It was inspiring. And Argentina? Well, that was a rivalry made from passion and history. Two nations connected by language, yet separated by tennis temperament. For Buenos Aires under floodlights. Argentina learned of the draw as dusk cast long shadows across Buenos Aires. Their team met on a courtside bench at the Lawn Tennis Club, where the clay had seen more storylines than most libraries. España y Estados Unidos, said Captain Rivero, reading the results on his tablet. Two giants. And they'll underestimate us, said their top woman player, tying her shoelaces with the force of someone preparing for gladiatorial combat. Rivero nodded. Exactly, which is why we won't underestimate ourselves. Argentine tennis had always carried a dramatic soul. Heavy topspin forehands, expressions worn openly on the sleeves, a sense of theater that turned matches into telenovelas of emotion. Let them come, Rivero said, lifting his chin. We have nothing to fear. We only have something to prove. The team seemed to stand a little taller. 5. The build-up. As days passed, the sports world buzzed, ranking matchups, predicting winners, crafting storylines. Fans debated endlessly. Could Gauff handle the pressure of leading the U.S. again? Would Spain's tactical prowess outmaneuver American firepower? Could the Argentines disrupt everything with unexpected doubles chemistry? And of course,